Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check one, check, check. Check it out, check, check. 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 All right. Hello, everybody. I think we're good. How's everybody doing? Let me make sure my levels are right here. Make sure everyone can hear me. Check, check. Check, check. Bring this a little closer. All right. Check one, check two. Check one, check. All right. I think we're good. So, I am going to read a study that's interesting to me today. We're taking a look. Make sure we don't have any echoes. Yeah. We're taking a look at influences on career choice among music education audition candidates. So I suppose the title of the stream was a bit misleading. These are not music education students yet. These are, in order to go to music school, to major in music at least an American university. I say that because I don't know about other countries, universities in other countries, but if you go to an American music school, you have to not only be accepted to the university by virtue of your academic achievement, but you also have to audition and be accepted by the music department or school of music. The more prestigious or competitive the school of music is, the harder it will be to have a successful audition. So a lot of music students will audition at multiple schools in hopes of being accepted to at least one. So these are audition candidates. And this is a pilot study, meaning this is a study that is designed to test the validity of the study itself before doing it on a larger scale. I believe, at least that's my understanding of what these pilot studies are for. And I think I fixed some things so that our scrolling will be a little bit better. But OBS also says I'm dropping 65% of the frames. I don't know why. Twitch says everything's excellent. So we're going to go with that. The abstract. The purpose of this pilot study was to survey prospective undergraduate music education majors to learn what motivated them to aspire to a career in music education. Respondents were candidates auditioning but not yet accepted for music teacher preparation programs at 4 institutions. I tried to figure out how to do a cough button with my Stream Deck, but apparently there's no way. I am getting over a cold. It was not COVID. That's why I haven't been streaming for a while. But I just cough every so often now. And I don't have a cough button. So I could mute and unmute, but that's sort of a pain in the butt. So there were 228 respondents. I believe that's what that means. Findings corroborate prior research that suggests that school music teachers and or private lesson teachers are highly influential. This study sought to quantify the types of experience participants had in teaching roles at the time of their college audition, supporting other research suggesting that such experiences may increase interest in a music teaching career. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. There we go. I need to turn up my headphones just a smidge, and that helps a lot. Recommendations include engaging music educators at all pre-K to 12 levels in actively recruiting and encouraging future teachers, providing private instructors and performance majors with teacher recruitment information, emphasizing earlier identification and preparation of prospective educators, and refining and continuing the work begun in this pilot study. I'm playing around with my sound. I think everything is working okay, but now I'm talking and there's an echo and it's making me talk slower. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everything's working okay now. Sweet. All right, let's move on. Advocacy efforts have achieved much in focusing public attentions on the value of music education. I'm going to turn down the music in my headphones just a smidge. Despite increased emphasis on assessment, tight budgets, and scheduling concerns, student participation in school music seems to be stable and, in some cases, increasing. At the same time, however, as the baby boomer generation of teachers has begun to retire, there has been a serious shortage of music teachers in the pre-K-12 schools of the United States. Hill reported that about 11,000 new music teachers are needed each year, but only 5,500 new teachers entered the profession. As a result of what appears to be a continuing teacher shortage, research in the area of music teacher career choice has become an important part of the professional research agenda. The influence of the school music teacher in the career decision process of those who become music educators or undergraduate music education majors is well documented. Berge et al., Berge and Demarest, Bright, Cox, Hammond, and Cutietta, Gillespie and Hammond and Walker, Madison and Kelly, and White each surveyed pre-service or practicing music teachers. These authors all found that the majority of both pre-service and in-service teachers pointed to a school music teacher and/or private lesson teacher as the single most influential factor in their decision to major in music education. Other important influences on music educators' career choice also have been explored. Thornton and Berge surveyed music education majors and found the top 5 reported influences were A, important others, B, love of music, C, love of teaching, D, participation in music organizations, and E, a desire to share music with students. Prior research supports these findings. In their survey of 153 undergraduate string music education majors, Gillespie and Hammond discovered that participants most often chose a career in music education because they liked teaching, playing their instrument, music, and children. In addition, participants indicated a desire to be a role model for children. Others have found that music teachers were drawn to the profession because of their personal abilities, love of music, and their desire to work with young people. Parental encouragement or family role models also appear to be important in the decision to major in music education. Bates and Davis both found that high school counselors may have a high degree of influence on the choice of music education career, although Berge found that during their high school years, undergraduate music education majors had received discouraging messages about majoring in music education from family, friends, teachers, counselors, and school personnel. A sense of confidence and self-efficacy derived from past musical experiences appears to have an impact on college music majors' career choice. Thornton and Berge studied the degree to which current college music education majors reported career influences fit the model of social cognitive career theory. The model proposes that career choices are predicted by self-efficacy and outcome expectations developed in ongoing learning activities, high levels of which were evidenced in the choices made by the study participants. Thornton and Berge recommended that music teachers build music self-efficacy in their students by helping them develop their musical skills, exposing them to a variety of music, using music to inspire their students, making music class fun, and simply being conscious of being good at their job. Similarly, Jones found that although parental and teacher influences toward majoring in music education were very strong during students' middle and high school years, ego satisfaction, status, and confidence in talent became more meaningful in the late high school years and through college. In one of the few studies to include respondents who had chosen not to major in music education, Bright surveyed 610 outstanding high school band students, both music education majors and other majors, enrolled in college band programs in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Bright reported that although past experiences with music were highly positive for both groups, the music education majors appeared to have higher confidence in their musical talent and passion for teaching. Several studies have reported previous opportunities to teach and/or provide ensemble leadership as influential determinants of a career in music education. Taken together, these studies suggest that for students who have had positive experiences with music making, the addition of early teaching experiences may heighten their interest in a career in music education. Although revealing important influences and experiences in the path to becoming a music teacher, the majority of research on music teacher recruitment to date has been conducted with current college students in the process of preparing to be music educators. As noted by Allen, the vocational identity of pre-service music education majors appears to become stronger over time, particularly between sophomore and junior year. Less is known about the attitudes and motivations of music students prior to college when they are making the choices that lead to initiating their experience as college music education majors. Few studies have explored influences identified by pre-college students. Brumbaugh surveyed 11th and 12th grade orchestra students, 1,683, wow, about their interest in careers in string teaching and found that students interested in fields outside of teaching reported higher class grades, more honors and advanced classes, and higher SAT and/or ACT mean scores, and that those interested in string teaching reported more relatives who played an instrument or were teachers, as well as a desire for a career that was self-rewarding and benefited society. In the only study to focus specifically on career choices of students of color, Bates surveyed 11th and 12th grade African American high school students involved in band, choir, and orchestra who stated an interest in pursuing a career in music or music education. He found that many students who aspired to teaching were ill-prepared for a college music major, and he suggested that earlier identification of these students through better career counseling and testing would be important. Jones collected longitudinal and cross-sectional data on career influences from students in grades 6, 9, and 12, as well as undergraduate and graduate students. He found that parents were a more important influence for the youngest and oldest students, and interest in music remained constant across all age levels, but did not discriminate well between those with interest in a music career and those with little interest. Council explored the social perception, self-efficacy, and potential enjoyment perceptions of 6th through 11th grade music students toward music education and various other careers, and found that the opinions of the participants did not differ significantly across grade levels for any of the careers on the survey. These data support the idea that career opinions are formed at an early age, and indicate that greater insight into the influences on pre-collegiate students may prove beneficial to recruiting potential music education majors as these students form perceptions and make choices about career paths. That's interesting. present study is the result of the ongoing work of the Teacher Recruitment Action Group of the Society of Music Teacher Education, originally formed at the 2005 Symposium on Music Teacher Education. The study was designed to achieve three things. A. To learn more about the reported motivators of a population of pre-collegiate students auditioning but not yet accepted to enter college-level music schools as music education majors. B. To quantify the various experiences they already may have had as part of their pre-college school and community programs that relate to teaching and music, and C. To compare their recollections to the collegiate and post-collegiate populations of previous studies. Although eventually drawing on a relatively large sample, from the initial planning stages, this study was intended as an informal pilot on which later studies could be based using improved methodology and larger samples. As a pilot, researchers adjusted recruitment strategies at each data collection site to explore the most successful ways of accessing the target population without disrupting audition procedures. So there we have our answer. What makes this a target study? I had skimmed this earlier, and I saw that it was a really large sample size, which I was confused how a large sample was, why it was such a large sample if it was going to be called a pilot study. But now I understand it started rolling away and they went with it, that's great. Method. The data collection tool for this study was a survey given to candidates auditioning for entrance as collegiate music education majors. The survey consisted of a single front and back page with 9 directed response questions. The survey items were developed using question topics from prior studies, in particular, Berge et al. From 2001. Each of the authors had input on several drafts of the survey before determining the final version. Faculty from 4 universities participated in administering surveys between November 2007 and April 2008. The 4 institutions contributing to data collection included 2 state universities, 1 conservatory within a state university, and 1 private university located in the north central western, southern, and eastern divisions of the National Association for Music Education. That's not what this is called anymore. This is called NAFME, not MENC. MENC stood for Music Educators National Conference or Committee. They changed the name. It's now NAFME, N-A-F-M-E, National Association for Music Education. So these two names, this colon makes it seem like this means this. It does not. MENC was Music Educators, National Conference Music Educators or something like that. And it changed, oh gosh, probably around the time, when did this come out? Oh, 2010. Okay, it changed around that time. Now it's called NAFME. What was it? Okay. State school. Oh. I'm just reading what schools. I'm assuming these were the schools involved, since these are the authors. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway, continuing along with the method. At each site, audition candidates were offered an opportunity to take the survey anonymously while awaiting components of their audition. Because of the pilot nature of the study and limitations imposed by the audition process at each university, the process for recruiting audition candidates to respond to surveys varied slightly at each site. The general procedure involved placing blank surveys at a single point where each audition candidate was offered a chance to complete and return the survey individually, such as in the information packet at the registration table or on a kiosk outside the audition room. Limitations to this system arose from holding multiple audition dates for each site, the potential for individual auditions to occur outside the scheduled audition dates, and difficulty obtaining information on no-show or rescheduled auditions, particularly in large institutions. These limitations served an important purpose in the pilot study with regard to exploring methods to apply in a standardized fashion in future study designs. So I can tell you why that worked. As being somebody who auditioned, that is, at least for me, I was absolutely terrified. And I knew that I wanted to be a music teacher, and I knew that my entire future was riding on that audition. And I knew that if I screwed it up, I was screwed. So if anybody else who was auditioning was half as nervous as I was, they would welcome the opportunity to take a survey to get their mind off of waiting, because waiting was the absolute worst. So that's my idea. That's brilliant. That's almost like exploiting them, but it's a great thing to do. What else are you going to do? You're sitting there waiting. You're just going to let your mind race and freak yourself out? Take a survey. Why not? That's great. Now, adrenaline pumping through your veins might not yield the most honest results in the world, but it got a lot of responses, which is the first step. Because of the limitations identified in the system of recruiting respondents, the exact size of the potential sample of audition candidates for music education could not be determined, making it impossible to calculate an exact return rate. However, on the basis of anecdotal evidence gathered from site staff members regarding the estimated number of candidates who auditioned while surveys were offered, our analysis suggested that the number of candidates who did not complete surveys was small. Although specific figures, you know what else, they might have thought that the survey was part of their audition, and they might have thought that they had to do the survey to get accepted. I'm sure the researchers made that clear. I'm not accusing them of anything, but I can see that going on in a frazzled auditionee's brain as well. Where were we? Although specific figures could not be obtained reliably, return rates for each participating university could be estimated at between 50 and 70% or higher. Something happened here, because that high of a return rate is bananas. So there's definitely something special going on. There was something happened to give us that high of a rate of return. Combined total of 220 surveys were returned from all 4 collection sites. 228. I guess from 4 universities. That's not that much. Oh well. Results section. Questions 1 and 2 ask respondents to choose the range of grade levels that best describe the time frame during which their decision was made to major in music, generally, and in music education specifically. We'll take a look at tables 1 and 2 for that. For question 1, more than half of the respondents indicated that they had decided on a college major in music by their sophomore year in high school. Responses for question 2 generally indicated a slightly later decision to major specifically in music education, as the median value indicated that half of the sample respondents made that choice by their junior year of high school. In question 3, respondents were asked, did your music teachers talk to you about becoming a music educator? Choosing from 1 of 5 possible choices, 11 respondents, which is just under 5%, indicated not at all. 29, which is 12.75%, indicated rarely. The largest number of individuals, 86 or almost 38%, responded sometimes. Nearly half of the sample responded to this question with either often or very often. Interesting. We investigated input of music teachers on the decision-making process of respondents in question 4, which is on table 3. The instructions for this question indicated that respondents should check all that apply, so percentages were calculated as a portion of the total sample size or subgroup of each response and do not sum to 100. High school music teachers were by far the largest group cited as a source of input about careers in music teaching. The breakdown among specializations between high school band, orchestra, and choir teachers generally mirrored the distribution of future teaching interests of the sample. Private music teachers were also cited by a large group of respondents, 42%. Where was I? 42.5% as a source of teaching career information, although 11.84% of respondents listed other influences under the open response other choice. No discernible pattern emerged within the specifics of those responses. All right, let's take a look at these tables here. Okay. Table 1, when did you decide to become a college music major? So just music major, not music education. That's the difference here. Let me move it so we can all see it. So we can see the biggest responses here. Junior year of high school. Oh, no, my bad. But yeah, still the biggest. Junior year of high school. Whereas when we decided to be music education major, still junior year. After high school, okay. Interesting. I didn't see table 3 yet. Okay, here's table 3. So this is which music teachers talked to you about being a teacher? No one talked to me. 3%. General music teacher, high school. Okay. Band. So high school director. Okay. So it's mostly, I mean, it sways very much toward, this is high school compared to middle school, junior high. Yeah. So it's very much, and they're saying the band, orchestra, choir, it lined up with the sample. Mostly 69% of the or 66% of the sample wanted to be a band teacher. 20% wanted to be orchestra. 44% wanted to be choir. So that's not really, there's nothing there. But it's skewing very much towards the high school director being important. Private lesson teacher also pretty important. But geez. Okay. Let's continue here. Table 4 contains the results for question 5, which examined respondents' personal motivations for a desire to become a music educator. Respondents were asked to check any or all of 11 statements describing possible motivators for choosing a music education vocation, with an additional open response for other. As with question 4, percentages were calculated as a portion of the total sample size for each response and do not sum to 100% because respondents could select multiple answers. We explored influential individuals in the decision to pursue a music education major in question 6 of the survey. The frequency of responses for each of the 20 items appears in Table 5. Percentages do not sum to 100% because respondents could select any number of responses. Although private lesson teachers accounted for the largest number of responses to a single category, these data are somewhat misleading. When taken as a group, the combined frequency in which respondents selected any one or more of the 3 categories of high school directors, band, orchestra, choir, accounted for 83.33% of the sample. A similar combined frequency of the 3 categories of middle school or junior high directors represented 34.65% of the sample. No pattern emerged from the small number of open responses in the other category. In question 7, respondents were queried regarding the general frequency of opportunities to engage in teaching experience prior to entering college. Respondents chose, we'll come back to the table here, one of 5 scaled descriptors in response to the question, have you had opportunities to teach prior to entering college? Exhibiting a bimodal distribution, the responses were greatest for yes, a few times, almost 33%, yes, weekly or daily, over 33%, middle responses of yes, 5 to 10 times, 11.82%, and yes, more than 10 times, 15.45%, received comparably fewer responses. The bottom category, no opportunity, received 6.82%. One of the major goals of the study was to determine respondents' prior exposure to teaching experiences. Question 8 was designed to investigate the frequency of such experiences indexed by the grade level at which the experience occurred, as well as the relative age of students involved in the teaching experience. Within each category of teaching experience, 4 subcategories represented grade ranges at which the respondents recalled such experiences: elementary school, middle or junior high school, or after high school. 3 subcategories represented the relative difference between the age of the respondent during the teaching experiences and the age of his or her students. Respondents could check one or more categories or items within each category, so percentages are calculated as a portion of the total sample size or subgroup for each response and do not sum to 100%. Table 6 contains the responses to the music teaching experience items of question 8, and Table 7 contains responses to non-music teaching experience items. We should take a look at these tables. All right, Table 6. Teaching experience. Types of prior teaching experience. Conducted performing group. Wow, okay. Rehearse an entire group. Rehearsed sectionals in high school. I mean, what do we call an elementary school here? Different schools consider these at different ages. This should really be grade levels. Younger? Oh, okay. Working with younger students near... Okay, got it. So this is saying, when you did this, were you working with people near your age, younger than your age, or older than your age? And this is when it happened. Okay. Got it. Taught religious music groups. High school. After high school. So, like, nothing is happening until high school. Wow. Interesting. Okay. And we're not going to look at that because it's crooked. What do you anticipate that you will do you teach after graduation? Oh, ding, 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 ding. Okay. 71% say they anticipate teaching high school. %, middle school. Okay, so part of what I'm researching, it circles around the idea that not a lot of people graduate and say, boy, I want to teach beginning band. Not a lot of people do that. And we look at this question, what do you anticipate that you will teach after graduation? This is what do you want to do when you grow up? That's the question. And these auditionees are saying 71.5%, I want to teach high school. We're not like, I want to teach high school. And of the 16.67% who said elementary is what they want to do, 65%, almost 66% of those respondents are saying they want to do general music, which is not bad. So it's such a low percentage of the sample, and then the percentage of that subgroup is low. So essentially, 14 people out of, what's the number, 228? 228. That was the total number of people. So that means 14 people out of 228, or 6%, 6.14% want to be elementary band directors in this sample. Now, perhaps that's not fair because we want to talk all of the beginning band, orchestra, choir, all the beginning ensemble directors. So we'll take elementary school minus general music teachers. So 38 minus 25, 13. That's not right. What? Oh, okay. These are, got it. 14 plus 10 plus 13. So these are people who want to teach elementary music or elementary general. No, you know what? No. I'm going to take 38 minus 25 because the total people interested in elementary is 38. People interested in general music is 25. So that means there are 13 people in this sample who just want to teach an elementary ensemble. Am I interpreting that correctly? Maybe not. Oh no, that can't be right because there's 14 people who wanted. See, but they might be saying, okay. That requires some more thought because some of these people may have selected band at every level. This would be better if they could only choose one. Okay, let's go back up here and keep reading. Discussion. The findings in this study corroborated results from several previous studies regarding the influence of the school music teacher and private lesson teacher in the decision-making process of becoming a music teacher. Scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. Although respondents reported that their families were highly influential, the high school music director, band, choral, and orchestral areas combined, and the private lesson teacher were the primary influences on them. Both of these categories were listed more often than were a parent or guardian. This study differed from previous research in that researchers attempted to quantify the amount of teaching experience in music and in other areas that respondents had prior to auditioning as music education majors. Respondents in this survey had music teaching experiences conducting performing groups, 39%, rehearsing the entire group, 48.2%, and rehearsing sectionals, 67.5%. Other experiences related to music teaching reported by respondents including giving private lessons, 43.4%, and tutoring individuals in music, 56.1%. These types of teaching and leadership experiences appear to be pivotal in the decision-making process because they provide young musicians a window into the role of teacher and music teacher. Often, teaching and leadership roles within an ensemble setting are assigned to relatively few students. Perhaps providing more students with music teaching or tutoring outlets could lead to a greater number choosing to become music teachers. Respondents in this study also confirmed findings regarding motivations for wanting to become a music teacher. Many participants reported their desire to share their enjoyment of music, as expressed in the following responses, each chosen by more than 50% of respondents. I want to teach others to make music, and I want to teach others to love music. I enjoy music, I want to help others do so. Music is my life, I want to share it, and I want to model my director. Interestingly, Bright found that although respondents reported that their high school directors had told them they could be a good music teacher, fewer directors actively encouraged them to become music education majors, suggesting that specific discussions with potential teachers may be more influential than casual remarks about music teaching or simply being a good role model. The fact that 66% of respondents cited a private lesson teacher as influencing their decision to become a music educator, and that 43% already had taught private lessons themselves, may indicate that private lesson instructors are an important consideration in identifying and recruiting future music teachers. Berge et al. Similarly reported that 57.1% of respondents identified a private music instructor as an influence on their career choice. Regardless of degree program, bachelor through doctorate, or major, performance, education, therapy, composition, Bachelor of Arts, most music majors expect to teach private lessons at some point in their careers, often motivated by monetary concerns. Similar to earlier studies, Fredrickson found that college music majors appeared largely to believe that learning how to teach in the private lesson setting was important. However, they had very little, if any, actual training in how to do that task. Given Fredrickson's findings, combined with findings in the current study and other previous research regarding the importance of private teachers as an influence on young musicians' career choice, it may be that it is time to broaden the concept of music teacher education to include aspects of private lesson teaching. Music teacher educators might explore ways to work in conjunction with applied music colleagues and their students to take full advantage of the many opportunities that already exist for musicians to teach, and to encourage and equip future community private instructors to talk with their students about potential careers as pre-K to 12 music educators. Additionally, this study's findings confirmed that pre-collegiate students made the decision to major in music predominantly during high school, although the majority of respondents in this study decided to become music majors by their sophomore year of high school, and decision to become a music teacher occurred later, with 55.5% deciding during their junior or senior year. Nearly 10% of respondents, 8.8%, however, decided to become music education majors during middle or junior high school and elementary school. Similarly, Madison and Kelly found that 14% of participants in their study made the decision to teach middle school and 6% in elementary school. Clearly, there are young musicians who can and do decide to become music teachers at an early age. However, in the present study, only 24.12% of respondents indicated that middle school music directors spoke with them about music as a career choice, compared to high school directors, who reportedly talked to 58.77% of respondents about becoming a music teacher. Council, noting that career opinions are formed at an early age, recommended additional research to learn whether perceptions regarding music teaching can be enhanced prior to high school. The profession should explore ways to alert all music teachers, particularly those in middle school and elementary level, to the importance of identifying and talking to prospective music educators about career opportunities. In addition, although opportunities for students to engage in peer teaching seem to be concentrated in high school settings, perhaps middle and elementary music educators could engage their young musicians in meaningful peer teaching and leadership experiences. All right. According to Madison and Kelly, students who make the decision early to become music education majors may be better suited for success in the long term. This has serious implications for the role that pre-K-12 music educators play in encouraging younger students to develop musicianship skills. If the decision to major in music is made early enough, the preparation for entry into a music degree program can include opportunities for private instruction on a primary instrument or voice, music theory, and piano. Likewise, if this decision is left too late, potential music majors may be eliminated from entry because of their lack of preparation. Efforts to diversify the music teaching profession need to include a focus on adequate preparation of young musicians, as well on early identification and recruitment of prospective educators from diverse backgrounds. Although this pilot study sheds light on important aspects of the process behind a decision to pursue music education career, further expansion and refinement is needed in future research to help those interested in music teacher recruitment make useful decisions about where to concentrate their energies. Although this study represents a good cross-section of geographic regions, expansion efforts should include solicitation of more universities for participation to increase the number of respondents. Refinements might include clarification of the subgroups for the grade level at which teaching experiences occurred, modification of the sampling procedures to ascertain an exact response rate among participants, and clarification of the anonymity of surveys to avoid potential negative associations during an audition setting that already may place respondents under stress. Collecting additional demographic information about participants' background may be helpful in determining who is applying for music education degree programs. Additionally, the data gleaned from the broad net cast by this study could allow future researchers to achieve a more specific focus in generating research questions and methods. In particular, the data collection instrument could be designed with higher order analysis techniques in mind to determine latent trends underlying the many influences and experiences identified by researchers to date. Music education faces a teacher shortage similar to those in other areas, and this was 12 years ago. They were talking about teacher shortages 12 years ago. Look at where we are now. Issues of utmost concern include the timing of when a student decides to become a music education major and who and what influences that student in that decision. Further study is needed to determine whether early deciders are better suited to a music teaching career, and if so, what factors are important in determining that suitability. In addition, as Bright did, researchers could explore successful pre-collegiate music students' reasons for not selecting a major in music education. Most importantly, researchers, teacher educators, and in-service teachers should continue to work cooperatively to develop informed best practices for recruiting the next generation of music teachers. No conflicts declared. So, here we go. That's that. I think I'm gonna end the stream and do a little write-up of what I just read, so I do not forget it. But yeah, that's some good research. It's a shame that it is 10 years old, though. Right? Do I have... Yeah, January 2010. No, it's 10 years. I'm still stuck in 2020. It's 12 years old. Yeah. Okay. It's given me a lot to think about. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you learned something. See you next time.